Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Runestone, and we're going to be explaining Magic the Gathering top 10 lands. And no, we're not going to add in dual lands like Savannah or anything. This was going to actually be lands that are going to have effects and abilities, not ones that just add mana. So let's begin with the top 10. And now, at number 10. At number 10 we have Tolarian Academy from the Urza Saga series, and it's a rare. Why this is at number 10 is really good. If you have artifacts, add 1 to your mana pool for each artifact you control. So if you have a deck that's completely artifacts, having this one land and with like just say 10 artifacts out, let alone, brings you all that mana you need to pump out as much as you can for a certain card, whatever that may be. So again, this is a very good card, I think, because of the artifacts. You can just make an artifact deck. So let's move on to number 9, which we have the land Caracas. I want to put that number 1 just because it's my favorite land of all times, but again, because of the abilities, I don't think it should be. It's a legendary land from the Legend series, and it's a rare. And it says, return target legend to its owner's hand. Enchantments on target legend are destroyed, which can be very helpful if you have a certain deck, but especially in this current state, there are a lot of legend cards being played now in Type 2 decks. This can be very helpful if you want to play Vintage with this card in the series. Very, very helpful if you want to protect that legend, and it costs absolutely nothing to return that legend. So let's move on to number 8. And at number 8 we have Pendelhaven, which is also from the series Legends, and it's a rare. With so many special lands from Legends, it's going to be a lot on top of this list. But let's get to that. So there's a reason why this is card here. It costs add 1 green to your mana pool. A lot of 1/1 greens from that series. And then target 1/1 creature gains +1/+2 until end of turn. So on second turn, basically, you can get, with this one land alone, you can make that 1/1 a 2/3 attacking right away. That is very impressive, and having those out really make a difference at the beginning of the game. So let's move on to number 7. And the next card we have is Island of Whack Whack. It's from Arabian Nights, and it's a rare, of course, like most lands are all rares. It was very hard to decide whether to put this card in the top 10 or not, because it says tap to reduce target's flying creature power to 0. That is alone very good against any flying creature. But if your deck has no flying creatures, that means this card is absolutely useless. It doesn't add any mana or anything. That's why it was very hard to decide whether to put in the top 10 and what position to put in the top 10. But again, what I just said is if you do have a flying creature, this card can be absolutely annoying. There's no legendary in the land, so if you have 4 of those out and the deck is based on flying creatures, game can be very over depending on how you built your deck. So let's move on to number 6. At number 6 we have City of Brass, which is from various sets, and if you play Magic, I'm sure you have owned one of these cards because this is probably the most reprinted rare land in all the Magic cards. It says whenever it becomes tapped, it deals 1 damage to you, but it adds 1 mana color of any to your mana pool, which is very impressive. I really like that, and I wish they continued to reprint this card because yes, it does 1 damage to you, which can be quite annoying in the long run, but adding 1 mana in a multicolor deck can be very helpful. And let's move on to number 5, which we have Mystifying Maze from the Commander series 2017, and it's a rare. And I like this card, even though it costs 4 to do, and it's really annoying. It says, exile target attacking creature an opponent controls at the beginning of your next end stop, return it to the battlefield tapped under its control. So again, it really doesn't do anything other than delaying an attacking creature, and it costs 4 mana for you to even play. At that point, you might be wanting to play something else. But again, the reason why this is here and it's at number 5 is because I think the ability is actually very strong. It can be very annoying, especially if someone has an indestructible creature or a 12/12 attacking you. And then it comes in battlefield tapped. That's very annoying because you can keep having a bunch of those out and multiple creatures, and you can keep doing that over and over and over and over and over again. And that's why it's at number 5. So let's begin with number 4. And at number 4 we have the glorious Library of Alexandria from Arabian Nights, and of course it is a rare. And the ability is tap to add 1 color to your mana pool, which is common, or draw a card from your ability. You may use this card drawing ability only if you have exactly 7 cards in your hand. Well, there's so many cards that you can actually pull it off and try to get your hand with 7 cards and then draw an additional card on top of that, where it costs nothing. All you have to do is just tap this land, and it can add 1 color. So this is very, very impressive land. I really like this card, because of adding the extra card, which can be very helpful. So let's move on to number 3. And which we have Rishadan port, which can be from Mercadian Mask, which is very famous for, or Masters 25, and it's a rare. The reason why this is here, well, as you can see, if you have the land advantage, tap target land. I remember playing this in the Mercadian block, and it can be very annoying. If you just have that one extra land, just tap, 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 and have 3 of those out tapping their lands, that basically stops the player from playing anything while you have that land advantage. So it can be very helpful. So this is why it's at number 3. It's more of an annoyance than actually damaging or doing anything. And let's move on to number 2. Which we have this so-called card, Wasteland. It's from the Tempest or various series. And believe it or not, it's actually uncommon from that series. And I absolutely love the Tempest series. And its ability is to sacrifice it to destroy target non-basic land. It's very rare. I find it hard to believe that most decks wouldn't have a non-basic land, as non-basic lands are run in every deck. This is why it's at number 2. It is 100% amazing. I love the series. I love the card. I love the picture from the Wasteland. It just fits that perfect for making it number 2 on the top 10 list. So let's move on to number 1. And at number 1 we have, yes, the Strip Mine from Anthology series. So it's been reprinted several times. And it's a rare, and I absolutely love this card. I think I actually own 50 of them. I really love the Strip Mine. It has got to be my favorite land out of all lands, even after dual lands. Like, this is number 1. Add 1 colorless to your mana pool, which is fine, and sacrifice to destroy target land. Wow, that is a free destruction of land right there. Puts red cards to shame that say destroy land. This one destroys it just by tapping it. I think this card is 100% great, 100% love. And love as in destroying target lands. And if you like this video, just continue to watch more of the top 10, and we'll keep making those videos. You guys have a good day and a good evening.